Hello and welcome to episode 112 of Critical Strike, Followers of the Burning Orb. I am your host, some weird recluse who works with Josh on third shift, and with me is another daywalker, the one they call Billy.
Hi, God. I love the idea that the Midnight Crew just worships Josh because they never see the sun. His skin is... it's so not white. Far from fair, giant. Far from fair.
Yeah, so the joke is Josh is working third shift, which is why he hasn't been on the podcast since he's sleeping right now. And everyone who works on third shift with him is some weird recluse that just... they ignite when they see the sun. They're like vampires, but lamer.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta be a special kind of person to never see the sun and sit in dark, noisy rooms with lasers. Yeah.
So that...
Right.
The followers of the Burning Orb.
They ask Josh all the questions about daylight and stores that are open, things like that. I don't know.
They're mostly fascinated by restaurants.
They bring you the food.
Like you're a person.
Like you're a person. Oh, man. We shouldn't pick on Josh. Well, actually, we should, but...
yeah, we should.
It sucks that he had to work the midnight shift.
I think he's going to be done soon. So maybe you'll hear his voice again. Unless he's taken this time to gracefully bow to the podcast.
That would be interesting if he just never came back.
Yeah. Oh, it's like what I did when I was working at that pizza shop.
When one of these, when one of the episodes comes out with next to no editing, that's when you know Josh is done. Because it's just going to be spliced together with the Mario theme, and that's it. That's what you're getting. Oh well, Kyle, you had a fun day at a child's birthday party before the cops came.
Yep.
I sat around at the office.
I got good and liquored up.
Me too. Not with children, because that would be wrong, and I'm not a pedophile like yourself, but I've been doing it alone like a solid alcoholic does.
Where's the thine lady?
Yeah, she's out somewhere. She'll be back before too long.
She's fucking doing something. I don't care.
I don't fucking care. I have friends coming over later to watch the fights, so I'm sure she'll be home by then. Ish. Something. I don't know. She needs more friends. All right, so last week you bailed on the podcast, which is completely fine.
I did bail. I was invited with our token German, or by our token German, to go see some Bundesliga games, which is the German version of the, I guess, American Soccer League. It's pretty much Germany's professional soccer ring. So it was like 7 games all going on at once at like 9:30 in the morning here. So we went down into Philly to this German bar, which has the games at 9, and drank from 9:30 to about 4 at this bar, and we got wrecked. And then we walked to our friend's house in the city and drank until 4 in the morning.
Was there any regurgitation?
No, there wasn't. It was... Sunday was the most painful hangover I've, ever had. It was just, static and fog for a while.
The worst part about getting old is when hangovers creep into the second day and you realize it's all downhill then. Yeah. Very depressing.
It was terrible. And then we were looking at the bottle count. It's like, oh, we drank 2.5 cases of beer, and then we went out and got 6 packs and drank all of those.
Oh,
Oh, wow. Why? It's really good that you didn't bust out the liquor because we probably would have been dead.
Or at least been very, very sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Sunday or Saturday, I didn't go to the podcast because I would have been fucking wrecked.
How, was it good beer? Or were you drinking, like, domestic piss? Paul seems like someone that would insist upon proper beer.
The German bar was all this, like, awesome
Heavy
beer from
shit.
Germany.
Yeah.
Like, Schweiss. We had something called, which essentially translates into black beer. And it was really fucking good. And then, yeah, the place where we went was all just craft beers.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Makes for a drunken day, though. Anytime I crack into things that aren't main labels, you know it's going to be a good night. Why do I feel so funny? Oh, the beers are 9%. That's just great. That's fucking great.
Oh, God, I've had like 5 of these.
Yeah,
I need to sit down.
One day before golf, we were making black and tans for some fucking reason. And we bought a 4-pack of Rasputin and didn't realize that it was 9%. So we each had, 2 of those, which was 4 beers worth, mixed with the other ones, which we're getting ready to go. And I kept getting a funny feeling like, I feel wrong. Something's wrong. I shouldn't be this drunk. Yeah, that high alcohol shit gets right on top of you, man. Ugh.
Especially when you can't taste it. That is the worst. Then you're just like, oh, I only had like oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should stop.
Yeah, because your body's conditioned to just drink like normal beer. It doesn't quite tell you that you're actually drinking times 3. Every sip is a man gulp.
Yeah. The beer that I'll eventually send you from Paul is like 12%.
Oof.
It's really smooth and really good. But we had 2 and I was like, I'm kind of drunk.
I can't see very good. Something's wrong. Well, at least you had fun. That's what counts.
Yeah, I had real fun. I had a lot of fun. What mattered was Wolfsburg won. I have no idea who Wolfsburg is or what their soccer style is like. I'm like, okay, these are the leaderboards. I see Wolfsburg, which is apparently some German city. I'm like, Wolfsburg's gonna win, because Wolfsburg is an awesome name for a town. And they totally came through for me.
Sounds like that's the one place the Nazis didn't infiltrate, because they're like, no, we're not gonna fuck with Wolfsburg.
Yeah, there's just fucking wolves in there.
Just leave those people alone. They got their own deal going, Yeah. Because I'm the proper amount of drunk, I'm not going to insult you for watching soccer like a dainty boy.
Meh.
But it's horrible.
The games are kind of intense.
If you
From
were
what
to
I saw.
cut out everything that happens between the intense moments, maybe. But no. No. It's terrible. Can't do it. Sorry, Kyle.
Oh, it's better than fucking baseball.
But baseball is a fat man's sport.
Baseball is the worst sport. There's no set time limit, which is fucking atrocious. The games can literally go on for 13 or 14 hours.
Yeah. And when you're there drinking, all the better. No way is baseball the worst sport. No way. Well, let's see, we want to get into an argument about breakdowns of, do you mean watching while you're there, watching on TV, playing, participating in, or listening to? Now, listening to baseball, I may give you, like, someone rambling on about baseball. Yes, it's easily the worst.
And it's down the pipe and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I don't really listen to baseball.
Because a soccer game, those guys that announce that shit, they could be tying their shoe, and it's amazing. Everything's amazing. Sorry, Josh. It's better than coffee talk.
We could go back to coffee talk.
People seem to like the coffee talk.
Yeah? Instead, we're going to do shave talk.
Yes. Now, I'm not sure if people are aware of this, but for some reason, you've rejected the advancements in shaving technology over the last 100 years. So rather than using a nice precision-engineered Mach 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever the fuck the counts are now, you and Lou choose to use a straight edge and take half an hour, and there's leather belts, and there's brushes and creams and elixirs and who knows.
Dude,
right?
All I have to say is don't knock it until you try it, because it is a fucking amazing shave.
But my facial hair is like a Brillo pad, thick, rough. It's not easy to shave my face. You have a little bit less.
I have
girth.
noticeably less.
Where I may have a redwood forest, you perhaps have a
bramble patch.
Yes. So I just, cause I have to shave down, which takes it down to a 5 o'clock shadow, and then I gotta shave up to get a proper shave.
Yeah, and then you shave across the grain, right?
Well, I go all over the place in little strokes. It's a whole thing I got going on.
Yeah, it all depends on which way the hair grows.
Yeah. So
that's how you vary your stroke. So you're already halfway there. You already know how all your hair grows. You just have to learn the angle. And you could shave with a straight razor easy.
I like that you slip in easy as if it's in any way an appropriate adjective to what we're talking about.
It is. It is simple.
The arm movement may be, but all of the prep work around it is not. How often do you have to sharpen it?
You strop it every time before you use it, so you run it on the belt. And then
That's the only part I'm excited about.
Yeah. Then you're supposed to use it on a whetstone, like a 6,000 grain whetstone, and then like a 12,000 grain whetstone.
Mm-hmm. With spit? You gotta use spit, right? You don't
no,
use oil?
It's like an oil.
You spit.
Use an oil.
Be a fucking man. You spit.
I don't have that whetstone, so I've kind of gotten it to the point where stropping it's not doing anything for me, so I went back to my disposable blade straight razor.
Living dangerous, Kyle.
So it's pretty much just, the blade looks similar to something that you'd pull out of the fuck's that called? Like a box cutter.
Sure. You're shaving with the utility knife, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, a very sharp utility knife.
The people want to know. Let's say that they're like, hey, I would like to inconvenience my life because I have nothing but time on my hands. What would they do? Would they go watch a bunch of YouTube videos of people like yourself shaving into a camera? Do you read an article first?
There's a few ways. You could watch videos on YouTube, which is how I started. You can read a book, which I guess I don't recommend, but you can do it. Because a book's not going to show you, it's just going to tell you.
Yeah. And then, so you get all that and you're like, I think I'm going to jeopardize my face with a straight edge. How much does it cost to get in this? Realistically, if you bought the things like the whetstones that you need, like $50?
If you go all out and you get an actual straight razor and you get the strop and you get all of the gear, it'll be more than $50. It's
like 100, 150
for a decent straight razor. It's $100.
Whoa, just for the blade?
Just for the blade, but that is going to last for 200 years.
Shit, my thing better be engraved with like some Lord of the Rings lingo or something for $100.
And for $100, you can go pay the extra $5 to get it engraved with whatever you want.
Okay, so now when you're
that you'll have a relic that you can pass down for years.
Yeah, if my grandpa gave me a straight edge, I would just keep it as a weapon, Kyle. Come on.
Yeah, and then you'd have something that was made in like the probably late 1800s, early 1900s that you can murder someone with.
Now, do they make these in a butterfly knife style? Seems like they should.
No, it's just... So there's the blade, which then folds in half into the handle. So there's this solid chunk of metal that just sinks into the handle.
Yeah, I know what they look like, but I'm just saying, is there a possibility of me getting one that I could like do cool tricks with before I start?
You could do cool tricks with it. I don't see why you'd do that.
Well, if I'm standing there with my shirt off and suspenders on, I'm going to do some knife tricks.
I sent you that picture, right?
That's what I'm talking about. So, at what point do you push play on the Sweeney Todd soundtrack? Is it before you start making the cream? During?
It's while I'm making the cream. I start off with it.
Yeah. See, people think I'm making a bad joke. You've listened to it while shaving, haven't you, Kyle?
I haven't listened to it, but I've played it in my head since I have it memorized. I do.
I know you do, Kyle. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that I fucking hate shaving, and I don't see that helping it. Like, it seems like something reserved for Sundays. You make coffee and a breakfast, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna go waste fucking half an hour and shave.
No, you do it at night.
What?
Yeah, I shave at night
God.
because then I can actually devote the time to it.
I can't shave at night. I'll just be hairy the next morning. It's disgusting.
Well, yeah, you have to realize that you're going to be a significantly closer shave.
I shaved at 8 o'clock this morning, and you can probably hear it on my fingers.
Yeah, I can, and I hate you.
It sucks. No, don't hate. I envy you. Shaving sucks balls, man. Oh, well.
But anyway, the process begins. Before I pop into the shower, I got a mug. Fill that mug with hot water. Stick my brush in there. Brush will soak in the hot water while I take my shower. Get out of the shower. Dump out the mug. Kind of flick some of the excess moisture out of the brush. Throw some shaving cream in that mug. Whip that shaving cream into a nice lather. It takes about maybe a minute. It's like fucking super thick, super rich, nice and creamy foam. Slather that on my face with the brush, and then I begin shaving.
All said and done, from blade to face, when's the last pull? 5 minutes? 4? 6?
It depends.
It's 10, isn't it? It takes 10 minutes.
If I decide to just take my time and I'm not in a rush, I 10 minutes.
Okay.
Then that's where I'm getting all the angles very precise and things like that. But it usually takes about 5 minutes to shave.
Now, I think I would let, like, an old man shave my face in a place that reeked of smoke and there was talk of the good old days. I could do that. I don't think I could ever see myself doing this. It's cool that you do. Nope.
Well, if you're not into the straight razor, there's always the safety razor. Nice double edge. No. Also a fantastic shave.
Nah, that seems like being a pussy, though. I mean, if you're going to do it, you do it right. You know, you buy the proper tools.
No, safety razors are fucking... A safety razor is a double-edged razor that you just stick to your face.
Yeah, no, it has to be the full thing. All right. No. But if I'm going to abandon finely tuned, long thought of engineering to go back in time, I'm going to go back in time.
You mean something where you just pick it up and throw it away, where you just keep buying it?
Yeah.
How much do you spend on razors in a year?
Oh, not that much. I take mine way longer than I should.
Yeah, exactly. So you get a shitty shave eventually.
Eventually, but really it's not a real big concern of mine.
For my disposable blades I picked up 2 years ago, I still have 50 and I only paid $4 for them.
That's pretty fancy. See, the real trick, and this is one for you young men out there slowly falling into life with women in your house. You get them to buy Mach 3 razors for their legs, and inevitably, once they get on board, they go through them much, much faster. So they buy much more of them, and then every couple months, you just happen to grab one. And so ultimately, the answer to your question of how much do I spend on razors a year, Kyle, it's 0.0. Yay me.
Yeah, you.
Yep. That's a pro tip out there for you guys.
But all in all, if you want to start up, it's like $50.
Seems reasonable.
For everything.
Seems like David should be someone that does this as well.
Mm-hmm. And since he's in Italy, he could probably get all that shit way cheaper since most of the stuff is Italian made.
Yeah. I think, though, with him, part of his step is at midway through shaving, he has to go to a window and shake his fist and yell shit in Italian. And then go back to shaving. I think that's like a requirement or something over there.
And now it'll be more menacing because he'll have something sharp.
Yeah.
Instead of just like waving a stick, he'll be waving a knife.
Yeah. The knife, the wife beater, all that shit. Probably some really terrible sounding music in the background. Sounds good.
Yep.
Well, I hope that answers this week's question of shaving. Next week.
As asked by David.
Yeah. Oh, man. Fun stuff. So, do you want to go first or second, Kyle?
I'll go first.
Okay. Because yours is really random and out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's... So I got Diablo 3 for free because I said that I'd pay Blizzard, I'd pay for WoW for a year. So I got Diablo 3 for free. Yeah. I was going to be paying the subscription anyway because I've been playing it constantly. Well, I play it enough to warrant me to pay every month. So I figured, why not? I'll pick up Diablo 3 for free. So I did. Unfortunately, my old laptop could not run it for shit. But now that I've got the new computer, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I'm like, you know what? I'll fucking download and play Diablo 3.
Nice.
And then I have been fucking just playing that nonstop.
Interesting.
Like, stupid crazy.
So it properly works now? It's not all stuttery and broken?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really noticed anything wrong. And I've been playing it several hours a night, every night.
Interesting.
So I burnt through the normal mode, and that was one of the easiest games I have ever played. It is stupid easy. So now I'm halfway through the next mode.
See, I only played, I think, the first act, and I'd say 90% of the time I was playing, either someone would jump into my game or I'd join a couple of other guys. And when you do that, the difficulty increases along that same curve of how many people are there. So it was never easy, and they were always higher levels. It was always, I was just, Bill's dead. Hey, Bill's dead. Bill's dead. Hey, Bill's dead. Bill's dead. But it was okay while I played it, I guess. But maybe I should try playing by myself on normal and see if it's more tolerable.
Okay. Or I could come help you out. You know, whatever.
That's the same thing. I'd be in the same boat, though. You'd be level whatever, and I'd be at 9 or something.
I've got a weak-ass character.
I would rather play that than Torchlight 2 that we tried that night. I don't know if we ever even talked about that.
Yeah, no, that was weird. That was so...
not very good.
Yeah.
Like, the graphics compared to the first game were such a disappointment, and then when you think about, well, why don't we just play Diablo instead of this if we all have it? I should just uninstall that. I'm never going back to that game.
Yeah, but as far as what Diablo 3 is, it was a fun, I'm going to click on things and then they die game.
Now, you're a seasoned Blizzard person, I suppose it's safe to say?
Yes, I am.
So
not as seasoned as Josh, but I am.
No, as he would interject and say, not like me, Carl.
You're not a fucking Blizzard guy. Fuck you.
You don't know the dragon, stepchild. So did the story, is all of that in any way relevant or meriting care by you? Yeah, I didn't think so. Because it seems like they wanted the moment where the old man dies to be some sort of moment, and I was just clicking trying to get through it faster.
Yeah, you're going to be doing that a lot then.
Ugh.
But you never played the first or second one, right? You just went straight to 3?
Vaguely, I have memory. My brother was the one that liked those a lot more than I did.
Yeah, so then it really wouldn't have had an impact.
Can you relate it to him dying to any other game? Like maybe, like fucking Bowser dying or something like that? Is it at that level?
This would be like Ned Stark. This is Ned Stark level.
Oh. Well, Ned Stark was kind of, well, not so much important, but you just like, holy shit, that guy's dead?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's exactly what that was like.
Interesting.
Because he was an old man. It's like, yeah, you expect him to die.
Of natural causes.
So imagine Ned Stark is like the last existing person of this ancient religion. And they could do a bunch of like crazy stuff. And then he's just dead.
Interesting. Yeah. After that, I think I fought some sort of witch, queen, demon, woman.
Magda.
Something. That's about where I quit. I think I got through her, and then I fought what I assume is the first proper boss, and then I got to the next level that maybe looked somewhat like a desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all the farther I made it. I would have liked to have gone to the Unicorn Land or whatever the hell that's called.
Yeah, that's expensive and hard to get to.
Oh. Well, fuck that then. So are you actually going to stick with it and play more of the harder settings and try and sucker us into starting to play that again?
Well, I'm already sort of suckered you into playing it again, so there we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on, just install it. It won't take that long.
Just one hit, man. Just one hit.
Just one hit.
I promise the game works better now. It'll be fine. Everything I did to you before, it's gone. Everything's gone. We fixed it.
Yeah, I did have someone pop in, and it was very seamless. So
yeah, well, they did that incredibly right. The way you could jump around like that. There's a lot to be liked about it. It just ultimately, I guess, I just kind of found it boring-ish. It was so far up its own ass that it was just, come on, it's ridiculous. Have a little fun. That's why I like Sacred 2 so much, because it was just ridiculous. They knew it and went for it.
I think I own that game, and I was trying to remember why.
Sacred 2 I liked that much, much better. Much better. I'd rather play that again than Diablo 3. Yeah.
No, I don't have Sacred 2. I bought some fucking game.
Sacred 2 should be
Alpha Protocol. That was what I bought. Because you're like, oh, you should buy this. It's fucking awesome.
It is so awesome, Kyle. I promise. Like, not the game playing. Like, actually playing the game kind of sucks because it's not very good.
You're not making a good point.
But the story involved with it is so amazing, and it's great. And your choices genuinely, that's for Paul, affect things. And the things you do change the outcomes, and there's different endings, and you can sleep with this girl and then be put up with the decision to kill her or not, and maybe you side with this terrorist even though you know he's a terrorist, but these other people fucked you over more, and so you start selling weapons to them, and all these things branch out and do different stuff, and how you interact and talk to people in the agency affect perks in each level and how they're talking to you, and maybe they're stabbing you in the back, and there's a big fight with a coked out Russian playing 80s music in a disco, and it's, yeah, it's fucking great, man. If the gameplay would have been better, it would have been a really, really big game. It just, they didn't have the money to do it complete justice, but it's definitely worth sitting through. I mean, like, one of my favorite parts is going into an like a shop, and this guy's dealing under the table with terrorists. And you can go through this whole thing and questioning him and trying to pressure him into telling you the information you need. But I just walked in and shot him in the face and hacked his computer and left. Awesome. That one you really should try and play. It's pretty solid, man.
All right. Maybe I'll give that a download.
Like, there's a lot of early tutorial crap. Like, the first whole level is basically just teaching you how to play the shitty game. And when you get through this desert section, you're like, why are people telling me to play this? And then the story opens up and all kinds of things happen and you get a better feel for what's going on. And it's really fucking good. Love that game. And the coked out Russian disco 80s music fight. It's pretty great. Yeah. It's good stuff. All in all, Diablo 3. That was a curveball. Didn't see that coming, but
yeah, I didn't see it coming either. It just sort of happened.
Yeah, your reasoning is sound, so may as well play the games you buy,
or pay for indirectly.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much been it for me. I've been just fucking playing that game all the time.
Really? Well, it works for me. I guess it's my turn.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I'm going to start by saying your warning was maybe even slightly understated. That fourth book of the Game of Thrones series, because people won't know what I'm talking about unless I call it the Game of Thrones series, is fucking horrible. It's just plain bad.
Dude, I
mean, how did that even get published? It's
I
really,
don't know.
really, really bad. Really bad. Like, nothing is happening. It's a complete and utter waste of my time. I hate it.
I told you, nothing happens in the 4th book except for a little spike in the end. Nothing happens in the vast majority of the 5th book except for the last 50 pages when a whole bunch of shit happens.
Can I just jump to the 5th book at this point?
No, because you're not going to get the significance of what happens.
Fine. I think I'm about halfway through. I don't remember the page number because I go back and forth between audio and actual notebook, but fucking hell is it dreadful. It's just horrible. I've quit numerous books in the last year where I'm just like, well, fuck this. And this one I can't because I'm too deep, and I hate it. But the other bonus, the 3rd book, which I really enjoyed, and that was the best of the series thus far, they're splitting that into 2 seasons on HBO.
Good, it deserves 2 seasons.
Yeah, and that's how they're going to try and make a run at not, surpassing the books, basically, is by splitting this up. And at first you're like, yeah, that sounds about right. That gives them a couple years. And then you're like, but nothing happens in the 4th book. Then what?
If the 4th book is just going to be a bunch of people standing around talking.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to take some liberties with the fiction, or I mean, they've done some things already that make me think they're building towards a bailout for themselves.
Splitting off.
Well, some things have been different with the others up north, we'll say. We'll call them zombies. Yeah, there's... Who fucking cares? You're not going to watch the show because you're that guy, but...
Yeah.
At the end of the 2nd season, it ended with... So Sam and the other 2 guys are walking in the snow, and he falls behind in the blizzard, and he hears something behind him, and he sees some of the zombie characters coming, and he hides behind a rock. And this whole horde of them is walking by, and then a couple of the proper others, or what do we call them? Whatever the hell they're called. I can't think of it. They're on the horse, and he sees Sam and does this screen, and then the shot pans away at this horde next to the wall. And it's like, none of that happened like that at all. So... They're already starting to branch off, I think, when I honestly think it's a good thing, judging by the 4th book and what it makes you, or what you say about the 5th.
Yeah.
The show will remain strong, but you should really watch that show. I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah, you're one of several people who told me to watch it, but I can't just... It's hard for me to sit down and watch something that I already know what's going to happen.
Yeah, but the boobs, Kyle. Yep. That's all I gotta say. Boobs. Lots of really attractive women and lots of slutty things happening. That's another thing I don't think I've ever brought up. When that fat fucker's writing about really intimate sex scenes, it makes me uncomfortable. It's just like, I see him in like a dark cabin, like face still with his fucking Buffalo hot wings sauce all over the fucking place, like
that
typing
massive ass beard.
Yeah, just typing out filthy things like, yeah, she's got that. Yeah. It's just disgusting.
The best part is when you keep that in mind, look how he describes the food.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like you can almost hear him applying oil to his hands. Be like, yeah.
Just sipping out of the bottle of olive oil. Oh, man. Nah, he drinks vinegar. Never mind. Moving on. The only thing that I've really played, I played a couple things, but I dipped into Lego Lord of the Rings again, and I finished the 2nd book there. Gotta say, short of the movie Lord of the Rings games on the PS2, this is easily the 2nd best Lord of the Rings game. It's really good.
What, you didn't like that really terrible Fellowship of the Ring one that followed the book?
No. No.
Where you got the fish sword?
Yeah, this is, they just pull it right from the movie with some of the jokes that we talked about before, but 2nd book stays on par with that. There's some really cool things they do, like this scene where Theoden rides out of Helm's Deep. It's like 3rd person behind the horse, just running over orcs and stuff, and it's really fun, man. I've been having a really good time with it, and I did that last Saturday night, I think, and then Sunday I actually sat down and watched the extended versions of Two Towers and Return of the King. It was awesome.
I can't sit down and watch the Two Towers.
Well, I was burned out from work, and it just was the perfect just veg out. And
it's a good veg out movie, but then I'm like, oh, these fucking elves that don't need to be there. And then I just dwell on that, and then I get angry.
Well, since now I have to... Before I watch the movies, maybe I watched a few hours of the extras on one of the extra discs.
Those are the perfect fucking veg out things.
Which
when it's just like
takes
4
me to
hours of... Oh, that's so interesting how they're doing all this perspective stuff.
Yeah. So when you think about it, really I spent like a good 12 hours in that world that day. Thanks for that. But they were interviewing the writers where they're touching on that point, and we know some people are upset about this, but I think everyone that watches it, they get that feeling in their heart and they get that excitement, and you just get angry. It's just no. Just no. All of this is wrong. Just wrong. Whatever. Still fun to watch, though. It did make me go dig into the lore a little bit, and because I've never read one of the extra stories book. I don't remember the actual title where they talk about when Frodo got there, and I didn't know that inevitably it was in the world that Sam went near the end of his life. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That was neat. But all in all, play that game a little bit more. I promise it's fun. It's just something to throw in when you don't feel like playing anything else. You can just enjoy yourself. I promise. Do it, Kyle.
I know.
Do it for the orb.
I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah. I've been playing some Crysis 3, though. And...
Have you gotten that issue fixed, or are you still crashing?
It just crashed a couple times last night. I didn't go back to it. I didn't do anything today, so... The answer's no, but I'm sure tomorrow if I come down here, I'll get it working, because I don't think I'm too far from finishing it at this point, but... You've never played the second one.
I've never played the first one.
Well, the first one you just run around the jungle and shoot shit. It's okay. I don't have the love for it that other people do. It's really neat, but yeah, the second one is the one you want to play. And next time that's cheap for like $5 or $9, since you have a PC that'll, kick the shit out of it, you should definitely play that now.
Okay.
But the third one... It holds a lot of the good things from the second game, and they open up the levels a lot more. Like, the second one was much more contained and tunneled and funneled down certain instances. And this one you have bigger playgrounds, I guess you can say. But I don't like it as much. I mean, it's beautiful, and all of the same things are there, but it's not as good.
What does it feel just like The second one came out not too long ago, right?
Yeah, and that you can kind of tell. Because the story, I didn't give a shit about it in the second one. There were aliens taking over a city or invading or something, so you just have that very simple idea that I'm fighting the baddies, and you're just killing everyone and everything, and it kind of works. And in this one, there's some aliens, there's some Blackwater types, and there's a resistance group resisting something, and a company that uses alien tech for energy, and I'm just killing everyone for some reason I don't care, figured out, and there's a giant alien and power sources, and New York's in a dome, and it's not very good. I don't know. It's just, I don't care in any way with what's happening. And the graphics, as beautiful as they are, because it's really fucking impressive, but when that wears off and you realize you're just randomly shooting things for no reason, it's not very good.
You're really endorsing this game.
Yeah, I want you to play this. I want you to play the second one. The second one is so much goddamn fun. Sneaking around and stealth killing and stealthily jumping on top of a building or a trailer, uncloaking, shooting dudes, and then cloaking and running off and then sneaking behind him and stabbing him never gets old. And in this, it just doesn't have that same setup, and it's just not as fun. I don't know. I'm taking, people, I think it's a 5-hour game. I'm taking much longer than that because I'm still trying to play stealthily, but it's just, they give you this bow that's a one-shot kill, and it's way overpowered. You know, like in Skyrim, I have that broken mod where I have that spell that wipes everything out
Yeah.
in almost the entire dungeon, and it's fun to use when you're in trouble. That's what I'm doing here with this bow. Like, the bow should have been this super cool thing that you played with as much as you could, but instead, because it's so powerful, it breaks any fun that's there. So I've completely stopped using it at this point. And since it's the featured weapon on the cover of the game, that's not a good sign. I mean, there's still a lot of fun to be had. You can hack turrets and these, like, orb spy drone things, which is fun. So, like, you cloak up all stealthily, hack the turret, it kills everybody for you, and then you just go back to doing whatever you were doing. Things like that are still fun, but I think if I gave a shit about what was happening, it would be enjoyable, but it's not. I don't care.
Huh.
The second one, though. Definitely play the second one. I love that game. I want my second playthrough of that. So much better than this. Bah. I don't have much more to say about this one. I'm honestly just finishing it because I know that I'm close to the end. And if I had rented it, it probably would have went back by now. But since it's just on Divide's account, I just keep going back to it. But I don't know. Yeah. Yay, Crysis.
So, listener questions?
I think so.
Okay. Since I usually answer them, do you want to go off? Do you want to say some?
I can. I'll let you start with your buddies, and then I'll lead off number 2.
So, the token German, Poltergeist says, at Critical Striking Gang, Far Cry 3, yay or nay? I've never played it, so I'll have to defer that question to Bill.
It's a big yay. I played some of that last night, in fact.
We had attempted to play it last Saturday when we were all fucking tanked.
No, that's no good. That's not going to work out at all.
Yeah, someone put it on the hardest setting, and there was just a lot of yelling, and you fucking suck.
Yeah,
and we didn't realize what happened until the next morning.
Yeah, that's not going to work out at all. You have to actually pay attention to that game. Some of the encounters are pretty difficult.
Yeah, I believe someone said easy mode is for pussies.
Yeah, I make comments like that.
It's just like, that's fucking.
Yeah, I'll probably make some of those comments later tonight. That's what happens when you drink. Kind of a jerk. No, you've listened to me play it now a few times on Skype. Sounds kind of fun,
it's
right?
fun. You're just like, awesome. Oh, fuck a tiger.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, a bear.
And then you're in a Jeep trying to run down a tiger, which is fun in a way that no other game is going to offer you. You can shoot sharks, then dive for their skins. There's all kinds of people and things to do and caverns to explore, and it's fun. And they have like it's completely stupid, but as you level up your character, you increase powers and whatnots, or unlock, jumping off a ledge down on an enemy to do like a stealth kill, and you get like tattoos. Each one's like more tattoos on your arms, which makes sense for these rich twats that you play as. And it all works well. Like, you just unlock stuff and then everything's working. Where in Crysis 3, they have a system of unlocks and perks towards things in your suit. And it's this convoluted mess where, in theory, it was a good idea where you can have like 3 loadouts of your perks. So if you have to go in guns blazing, you would, in theory, change your perk to something with heavy armor and added power or something. Or if you want to stealth it out, you pick those. But since I just want to play as a stealth game, I uploaded those 3 perks and never went back. And it doesn't make sense in this like super space age alien suit. I would just think whenever I unlock something, it would just be active because it's a fucking Predator suit.
Oh, okay. Maybe there's only so much power that the suit can do.
Yeah, it's stupid though. It doesn't make sense with how. Trust me on that. You wouldn't like it either. But in Far Cry, it's just as you unlock stuff, it just becomes part of your arsenal, and it works really well. And all of the killing of the animals to craft, extra gun belts or things like that, or ammo clip holders and stuff. There's so much fun to be had. And, you spend $50 in a game like that, you can have tons and tons of fun with it. I encourage you to pick it up at some point I would think by like June, you'll be able to score it for like 15 or $20, and you totally
Okay.
should. I know you're not the biggest shooter guy, but running around jungles, it's fun. I promise.
Have you beaten it yet?
No, I haven't. I spent all of my time in the beginning just hunting animals to level everything up, and now I'm just finally getting back to the story. I haven't even unlocked the second island yet. Because it's so big and so much fun. Like, it's the kind of game that sometimes I just fire it up. I got like 20 minutes to burn. I just fire up, hop on the jet ski, and cruise around and shoot random things and just put it back down. It's just a fun game. It's not up its ass. It's good times. Good stuff. Definitely pick it up at some point.
Yeah, okay.
On the PC if you can, because you don't want any of the console version. Yeah. You don't want any of that. Let's see. Divide. He's joking about bathroom tips. A new proper
and
driver.
Golf tips.
Yeah. When it comes to things with golf, granted, I'm no expert by any means. Yeah. But somebody told me this when I was first setting out, and it's made a lot of sense, and I think ultimately it paid off. If you say you play 9 holes of golf, you're going to use that driver maybe 7, 8 times, probably 6. Probably 6 times would be a fair bet, judging them by what course you're playing.
Yeah, especially if there's par 3s.
Yeah, so you're going to use that club 6 times, period. You're going to use your putter most likely 27 times if you're okay, 45 if you're not, maybe more. Buy a fucking decent putter and learn to use it. That's where you start with golfing. Don't buy a $400 driver that you use 6 times an outing. You buy a fucking nice putter and learn to fucking use it. Because that's the thing that kills the strokes. That's what adds your score. It's putting. It's all about the putting. Period. Fuck the driver, buy a decent putter and learn to use it.
Yeah, I can't even use my driver properly.
Yeah.
It took me my one club. I don't know what the fuck it's called. My number 1 club, and then there's the number 3 driver that I use.
Is it a hybrid or is it just a wood?
It's just it's a wood.
Sure. That 3 you're going to use more than your driver, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I couldn't use it correctly until it got bent. And now I fucking use that thing like a... No, I'm serious. It's bent.
Interesting.
And now all of my things are really fucking straight and really awesome.
Very interesting.
Like right where the head is, it's crimped, so the angle's all weird.
So somehow it corrected for your bad swing.
Yes.
That's kind of
Which
cool.
just encourages me to continue to swing bad, which is terrible.
Yeah. I never really played with woods. A couple of years ago, I went out and bought a cheap hybrid, like on clearance for $30, which acts as my wood because it swings like an iron that I'm better with. And
Yeah.
because I don't go for the long ball and the drives, it's my second shot where I make up a lot of yards, and that hybrid is amazing. But yeah, the driver, fuck that. Just buy and use whatever's cheap and buy everything else because you're going to use them way, way fucking more.
This the set I came, it had the 2 drivers, 2 hybrids, and then the 6 through 9 irons and a putter.
Nice. I love those hybrids. They're weird.
I can't use them right.
It takes
If it's not an iron or that 3 club, I can't use them.
Well, that answers that, David. So, let's see.
All right, the next one is from Saintly Stew, or Sanity Stew.
Yep.
I see. At Critical Strike, having only read the first 4 books in the Wheel of Time series, is it worth reading the rest, including the new ones? I have never read anything by Robert Jordan.
I only know of them because they're somewhat popular. I've never read them either.
My uncle is a big fan, and he's continued to read them, and I usually take his book recommendations to heart.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess keep going with it. He did say that he starts milking the series later on. Like, instead of a book taking over a period of years, there's one book that just takes place over a course of a day.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's about. It seems like something maybe I'd be interested in, but when looking at a series like that, with that many books. It's not like the Dresden Files that I enjoy, where I could honestly read one of those in an afternoon if I didn't have anything going on.
Yeah.
These seem like big, heavy things that I'm never going to get through it, so I probably won't ever start. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are lighthearted and quick reads, but it doesn't seem like it would be.
If you want lighthearted and quick reads, you want Terry Pratchett. I don't think Robert Jordan's the way to go.
Yeah, I've tried Terry Pratchett. I have a buddy that's read them all, and he's a big fan, but it just... I started with the third one, which is where he told me to, and I couldn't get into it. It has some really great things to say occasionally. Like describing a storm coming in, walking on the legs of lightning. For some reason, that quote always sticks in my mind, but just couldn't get into the book. A little too out there for me. Sorry, can't answer your question properly.
Yeah, I also can't answer your question.
But if you've read 4, it's kind of where I'm at with Martin. It's just
Well, with Martin, you've read
over half.
Over half of the series. I think the Wheel of Time is like 14 books.
Yeah, but still, you've learned characters in a world now that if you're enjoying it, it's tough to walk away. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the Dresden Files are just cheap little instances, but I kind of enjoy it, and I'm in for the ride, and I'll keep reading them until they're done.
Have you finished the 5th book yet?
No, there was just a slight altercation on the boat, we'll say, where he thought the shroud was, and it turns out it was.
Oh, okay.
I haven't quite got to the part where all your hate's coming from yet, though. I don't think it's that different than the other ones. Don't know.
Yeah, there was something about the 5th book where I'm just like, meh.
It's just not so good. Yeah, I don't know.
What the fuck was that?
I don't know. It's me being an asshole. That's the vodka talking, folks. Keith, how do you hosts feel about...
Me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
How do the hosts feel about the EA Maxis releasing what is arguably a broken demo SimCity, then refusing to give refunds?
Yeah, that's a sandpit to step into there, isn't it?
Well, it doesn't matter if you're in Europe, because there's that, you can't not give us a refund.
Yeah.
Because we own the game.
Land of the free. I've heard a lot about this. I've read a lot about this. Read tweets, listened to people that own it. My response is, are you really shocked that EA is going to fuck over the fans? Really? Are you really surprised that it didn't work the way you expected it to? I mean, honestly.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards that, but it's not like they hid, it's like, oh, you have to be always online. They fucking flat out said that, right?
I don't know. Probably.
I think they said that, like, you have to be online in order to use the game. I guess people didn't expect it to be, you drop your connection, you lose your game.
For me, when it kind of showed itself that you can't make a grand city and then start over, like that was always what was fun with SimCity. Hey, I've got a few hours to burn. Take this bitch to max speed. Here's $1 billion.
Let's see what I could do.
Throw a bunch of water in mountains, put the rich people here, and, just have all of this fun. And then when it was done, you saved it and never touched it again and build a new one the next time.
Yeah.
And this, it's just, you're a fucking village in the middle of a forest, basically. And it's not so much about that grand fun experience of laying all this cool stuff and making this crazy city. It's more about build this square and then manage it. And that sounds dreadful to me.
I think honestly, the biggest turnoff that I have about that game is it's more like The Sims.
Yeah.
Than anything else. It's like, this is not SimCity. This is The Sims Town Edition.
Yeah. And in theory, having your friends' villages next to you.
No, I think that idea is awesome.
But if they were big, crazy cities, just the little space, it just doesn't work for me. I don't know. I don't know. Any interest I had in the game, which wasn't all that much for some reason, even from when it got announced, because I knew it would be EA and Origin and shit, it's gone. I'll never play this, even for free.
I would like to play it. Just, it's the Sims game. I mean, it's one of the first PC games I've ever played.
Yeah, I would rather just...
Or SimCity, not The Sims.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I would rather just download SimCity 4, because I never really put very much time into that. Like, I built...
I stopped playing SimCity after 2000.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I've ever really played, and so...
SimCity 2000 was the pinnacle of my SimCity experience, but even then, SimCity, the original, was what I played.
Yeah, the original ones, I lost hours to that. 2000, I played quite a bit. The fourth one I bought on a whim a couple years ago, and I built like a city, but never really went back to it. And I think it makes more sense now to just go back and have some fun with that if I really want to do something. This just seems boring. Just honestly, it seems boring. Don't know. I don't want to manage a city. I just want to build a cool one, then break shit, and then start a new one. With lots of bridges and hills and fun. I don't know. But to answer your question, how do I feel? I feel not surprised in the slightest. It seems par for the fucking course.
Not surprised, but also disappointed. Like, I was kind of hoping this game would be a lot, I guess not as broken as it was. Because you've seen the thing where it's, someone did the tracing of the people and just learned what they did for their paths, and they just kept switching their roles.
Yeah. My buddy Steve, who's a big strategy game player, like, he was so excited for this a couple of weeks back when we went to that hockey game. Because he doesn't play video games hardly at all, you know, outside of like Age of Empires and Civ and, you know, things like this, just randomly. And he was so excited for this. And then I just started sending him articles and people's responses because he's going to play it on a Mac, so it wasn't quite there yet. And it was just watching him slowly become more and more sad until the point where he's just like, yeah, it's not going to happen. So, oh well.
I don't know. Maybe by the time the Mac comes out, maybe they'll iron out some of the bugs.
No, because it doesn't. For me, it's just about building this big, crazy city, and that's not what they want you to do now. They're taking it a different direction. It's about having a region and cities work like little villages all working together, and that's not at all what I want. I like building a giant overpass that goes right through the middle of a city sometimes. For no reason, just because it's fun to wreck shit and do all this crazy stuff and lay all of your plumbing pipe work and run power lines and all that stuff that I remember. This is none of that. It sounds horrible. Like, I don't want to manage street types to net certain business types that a certain sect of a residential area is requesting and rezone it. Like,
What?
Yeah, it's weird, man. There's all these different, like, zoning levels of businesses and streets and how that all affects one another. And it's like, I don't want to fuck with any of that. I just want to build a cool city.
It's not, this is residential, this is industrial, here's a street that connects the two?
No, I think you have to have like a certain grade of street to get you a certain grade of business and things like that. And
that is fucking stupid.
I don't know, man. I mean, I could be way off, but I listened to a certain podcast this week. I don't remember if it was Giant Bomb or something where, you know, that's what they were saying. Like, this certain level of upper scale residential was wanting a certain type of business district, but they couldn't get it because the street wasn't the right type of street or something. And
that is fucking retarded.
Yeah, I don't want any of that, man. I don't want any of that. I mean, and it would be different if, you know, like in the cities of old where you build this, you know, you have like suburbs for all intents and purposes, you know, right? You kind of have areas off to themselves, all interworking with the city in the middle. Like, yeah, it's a little bit different then, but when you look at the real estate on the screen for what you're actually playing, I don't think that works, and it sounds terrible. Yeah, no, not for me. And then when they remove cheetah speed, I don't even know how to play the game without putting it on the fastest setting. That's what's fun. I don't want to sit there for 3 hours at regular speed. Who the fuck does that?
Yeah, that is pretty dumb.
Yeah, but as far as not,
I don't even think I played the fucking Sims on normal speed.
No one does. You want it to be kind of hectic, because otherwise you're just sitting there staring at time paint dry. Ugh. But as far as giving refunds, I think the apathetic behavior of both our governing bodies as well as the people of this country, I think the time has passed for that to be changed. It's the way it is now, and it's going to be the way in the future. You're not going to have returns on this type of thing. It's just not going to happen. But it's not going to happen.
The only thing is, it's not... This is what it's like for any downloadable content. I mean, you can't get a refund for Steam games.
Nope.
So I don't get why it's such a shock that when you buy something and it's not what you want, you can't refund it. It clearly says no refunds.
Yeah. The humorous episode of South Park where the Apple one with the human centipede, granted it was a big joke where what's his name? Was it Kyle or was it Stan that didn't read the full Apple EULA? Now he's owned by Apple.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big funny joke, but they're much like most of their shows, they're making a valid point on something in our society, which is we've been so conditioned to just click yes on EULAs. You don't have any idea what they say. And clearly in this one, it was just, there is no returns. We're selling you this, and due to online issues, that's not a valid excuse for it not being what you thought it was going to be.
That's not even on the... I don't even think that's in the EULA. I think that's just on the thing. When you go to buy it, it says this item is not eligible for a refund.
Yeah. It's just the way it is.
I mean, at least that's what Steam does. I'd like to think Origin does that, but I've never purchased anything on Origin.
I don't know. It's just the way it is. I mean, sometimes you get burned. There was one, I think I rented a movie once from Time Warner, and it just kept failing out because the connection was just not working. I think it was a stormy night. I didn't get my money back from that. It just, you live and you learn. Next time, maybe don't buy it the first day, see what all of the sheep do, and then decide to buy it or not. Don't know. I don't know. But, I mean, Josh hasn't had a single problem with it, and he's enjoying it last week. I mean, he was busy this week. We'll see if he ever goes back to it. But that's with any game, so it's not really criticizing it. But I don't know. I think there's fun to be had. It's just not the fun that I want out of a SimCity game. So I think I'm out. Maybe if I can get it for $5 someday, I'll be like, fuck it. But
you'll never get it for fucking $5.
Yeah. So I'll probably never play it. I have 4 in my Steam account. I'll just download that if I really have the itch. And then we'll watch them all die like peasants. Yeah. I don't know. Last one from David. What's worse, having a creepy roommate or a friend who doesn't know how to gargle? I gotta say, having a friend that doesn't know how to gargle. That was an eye-opener about our friend.
I didn't know that someone didn't know how to do that.
It was like...
that you had to go and watch a YouTube video on how to gargle.
Have you watched a fair amount of Star Trek The Next Generation?
I've never watched any Star Trek The Next Generation.
I'm off the
I have not watched any of the Star Trek TV shows.
There is an omnipotent character named Q.
I'm aware of Q.
Q is basically a god. Well, he was punished into being a human at one episode, right? And he came in all worried at one point, saying that he became very confused and lost consciousness. And they're like, you just fell asleep, Q, for fuck's sake. And it was kind of like what we were witnessing last night, where it was just this natural thing that Josh just couldn't quite wrap his head around.
You just tilt your head back and force air out of your throat, so the water doesn't go down. So the whole reason was he heard that doing a saltwater gargle would be good for his throat since his throat's all messed up.
But somehow he's made it to 30 years and never gargled. I mean, being us and the people that we are, of course there were a lot of jokes about dicks and things to do with dicks involving gargling. So that was all there. But there was a certain level of shock and confusion.
Yeah, like...
What are you not getting about? The liquid doesn't go fully down your throat. It's just... You just gargle. I don't know.
I think his first mistake was he was trying to practice gargling with Pepsi.
Yeah, that was a bad mistake.
All you heard was as all the carbon was like agitated, and he was probably literally foaming at the mouth.
Bruins running for shelter.
The jaywalker. There's something wrong with him.
Oh man. Yeah, that was one of those fun nights that probably the rest of my life, at some point I'll be around a group of people, whether at a dinner outing or meeting or something. Someone will say something about gargling and it'll be like, let me tell you about this one time. And then we'll get to relive it. Yeah. Be in a nursing home. The nurses all think I'm going crazy because I keep laughing about the man that couldn't gargle. Oh, bud. We all have our strange things. I myself still am confused by the process of a cough. Can't quite figure that one out.
What?
I don't know. Whew, all in all, I think that's all the questions, that's all the games, that's all the picking on Josh we have this week. Do you have anything else sticking in your mind before we let this one die?
No, not really.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. I will say, for those out there, watch House of Cards on Netflix. It's really fucking good. Really pretty good. It's the type of show I want to see much more of. Thick, heavy character development, plot, and it's not terrible drama like the networks put out. It's good stuff. If you have Netflix, definitely watch it.
I think I'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, I was bullshitting on it a little bit, and Frona and I watched an episode like the middle of last week, and I finished it a couple nights ago. I rocked through all 13.
Yes. Hey, so you want to watch the next episode? Oh, I've already watched the season. Too bad. You have to do it yourself.
That's exactly what happened. Well, it was the next night, and she was laying there. She's like, I think I'm going to go to bed. I'm like, I'm going to watch an episode of House of Cards. Well, I'm going to go to bed. No, that's fine. And then a couple days later, she's like, you're going to watch House of Cards? I'm like, I'm done. It's on you now. So, yeah, it's good stuff. And there's more to come, and it's good. It's good. Good stuff. Outside of that, how about you tell him how to get a hold of us and mock Josh for his lack of gargling?
Like everybody who contacted us today, you can contact us on Twitter. You can contact Josh at Nasro, myself at KRJuman, Bill at Billy Bill Black, or the podcast at Critical Strike. You can shoot us a voicemail. I don't even know if it's still up at 909-C-Strike or 909-278-7453, or send us an email at cstrikepodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, before I prop up Platform Nation, Josh isn't here, so he doesn't have any voting rights. I kind of think maybe we can just drop the number, right? Have you ever even gotten a voicemail?
I think the last voicemail we got was the one that I sent when I was drunk right after I proposed to Nancy.
Oh, that's right. Well, we better keep it around for that.
But that was in July.
Of last year. And the one before that, Bush was still in office. Also hit up Platform Nation. Plenty of good podcasts there. I know there'll be a good one coming from Double KO after James's trip to the United States.
Yeah. I'm very disappointed in his lack of, America's fat.
Well, I honestly, Kyle.
Yuko's already like, I can't eat any more food.
At least they had a blizzard. I'm happy they got to rock a Dairy Queen, because it's a special experience going into that place, because it just smells of cancer and diabetes and just...
Yeah, Dairy Queens do have a really weird smell.
It's a cold cleaning product oil grease mix with dairy. It's very odd. It's kind of like when you see old pictures of 50 diners and such, it's what I imagine they all smelled like. With more coffee and cigarettes, of course, but very close to that. But I've put more thought into this than I should have. But, America's known for its fatties. And James hasn't seen very many fatties. And even though, he doesn't really care, but I personally, as an American, I'm like, I feel disappointed that he's not seeing the level of fatties that he should.
Yeah.
And
it's like they're all hiding.
Well, that's exactly it, Kyle.
I think it's because he's not going into the South, because he's like, oh, I haven't seen any fat people when I'm in Hollywood.
I'm surrounded by all
fucking
these...
course you're not.
Yeah. Well, but it really is that there's a certain level of hiding. People, those people don't really go out. You see them at the Walmarts or like, county fairs and such or something. He's obviously not going to be around those. So
has he been into a Walmart yet?
I don't know. But the thing is even if he did, it would be not representative of Walmart in the places that he's been. Now, if he had a detour to, like, say, Mobile, Alabama, then I think you'd have a different piece of pie from our country. Because you're not going to get those things in New York and Vancouver. Well, that's not the United States, but San Francisco, Las Vegas. Las Vegas, I would have guessed more, but maybe not. I don't know. But still, I hope he's having fun. There's a lot to see, and, you get an idea of this country, I suppose, compared to coming from a small place where you're from. It's got to be kind of an eye-opener, especially going to New York.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's big cities. I'm partial to Chicago. I like the vibe of it better, but I don't know. I hope he's having fun. So I look forward to that Double KO episode of just recapping his adventures in America.
I like how his first tweet in America was, a large quarter pounder with cheese value meal is a fucking large.
I sent him that warning when he was either right before he left or when he got here. Just know that medium is large here.
Dude, medium is a fucking extra large. Are you kidding me? A small is the new large.
Yeah, it may have made that jump, didn't it? Ugh, we're fucking terrible people. But we make good movies.
Yes, we do.
Oh, I think that's about a podcast.
All right.
Sorry, Josh.
At least we didn't talk about coffee.
Hey, how is the AeroPress going?
Pretty fucking good. I made some coffee today.
So you're
my breakfast.
You're sticking with it after running through the paces. Have you switched off the Kona yet?
No, the Kona's the only one I have. I considered picking up some other coffee when I was at the grocery store last night, but I didn't.
Yeah, that's going to be my deciding factor is when you switch to just an average run-of-the-mill coffee.
But I do have the answer. It is the Kona that is a non-bitter coffee.
Yeah.
It is not the brewing process.
There's a reason people pay as much as they do for proper Kona. Not the shit you get at the grocery store that says Kona, but like
Kona.
Proper Hawaiian coffee. Yeah, I've had that a few times in my life, and it is quite delectable, especially with a heavy cream. Tasty. You should mix it with some cream tomorrow, Kyle.
I don't have cream, and I generally take my coffee black.
I take my coffee black during the week. But
oh, God, you fucking drink that fucking disgusting mud.
No, that's weekend coffee, Kyle. And that gets mixed with cream and sugar on the weekends. See, the weekends I get fancy. But during the week, it's just black.
You don't get fancy. You're running your... Wait. So, you mix your coffee with cream and sugar, and then you rerun it through the process?
No.
Or is that just what's left in the pot and you rerun it?
No. During the week, I make normal coffee in the morning, but if I want more in the afternoon, then I rerun it through the filter. Which, by the way, Paul has always wanted to try, and he's happy that I've done it. But on the weekends, that's the French press and coffee and sugar and...
Yeah.
Fancy
I'm referring to the mud that you drink during the week.
Yeah, the mud during the week. The afternoon coffee, that's nothing to be proud of. That's just a man who hates his job and has nothing else to drink. Yeah. Ugh. I'm not going to make more coffee when there's already some there. Sort of. I guess I kind of remake it. I just don't use more grounds. I should put new grounds in it once and then run coffee through it, though, just to see what would happen. Maybe it's like super coffee, Kyle.
I think you just get very strong coffee.
Maybe. Maybe it could help me gargle.
I still can't believe that happened.
And on that note, we're out!
Oh.